Hello and welcome back to Creativity with Don Allen III Live. Today we're going to be working on making the Tesla bot that was just announced like 4 hours ago on the interwebs at the AI Day. Right now I'm wearing some fashion designed by a friend here. Ibrahim Buna designed the AR filter that you see me wearing here on YouTube, or I guess I'm running it on the Snap AR camera, but you're seeing it here on YouTube. And yeah, we're gonna start working on this robot here. So we're starting off in a program like Cinema 4D. Buna says yes, it's live. Awesome. Thank you so much for confirming. And is the audio sounding okay? Oh wow, hey Ray, Rehi, Ray, Ray Studio. Welcome. And then it's me, Yogesh says, hey, how did you make 3D model of the Tesla AI bot? Oh, I haven't. I just put in this base model that I use when I start to model humans. I haven't modeled it yet. That's what we're going to be doing in the live stream right now. So first things first is we want to get the proportions right. So if we were imagining like a line that we're going across here, you can see that the knees are at a different height, the groin is at a different height, and the head is at a different height. So I kind of want to start off with the biggest, blockiest things that we want to just clean up. So what we do is we grab the selection tool, and I think the ankles are pretty good. So I'm just going to grab everything above the ankles and just stretch out this person. Cool, and I'm going to grab up here and just kind of raise this up a little bit. And then we're going to go to the head here and just maybe just shrink that a little bit. And then we'll go to the inner torso bits here in a second. Maybe just grab, try to think of the best way to condense the torso here. I'm just going to squeeze that together there. And then it looks like the hips are a little bit wider than I have it there. So I'm just going to grab all of the hip region. And then same idea, scale this up a tiny bit. Okay, so now we're getting, oops, I think I lost the fingers for a second. Why are the fingers daggers on my object? I don't know what that is. I think that was a glitch. So I'm going to get rid of that. Or I should be concerned that because that might cause some other problems down the line. Okay, so now we got the proportions that are pretty close to the Tesla bot that we're seeing here. The head is about the same size. A trick that I saw is you can actually, I'm using a tool called PureRef, P-U-R-E-R-E-F, to have my reference footage sit on top of my desktop always. PureRef is a free tool. It is donation based. And it's a great resource if you're trying to get your reference models and stuff and make them more visible for you. Okay, I think these are actually pretty close to the proportions. Let's yeah. So let me just take a look. What I was gonna do next, I already forgot. Oh yeah, I wanted to see. Oh yeah, I want to make the PureRef transparent so I can actually just overlay it on top. So if we go to canvas, or no, maybe mode or window. I can't remember which one. One of them allows you to tint the, oh, there it is, master opacity. There we go. So if I just tint down the master opacity, we're able to actually put this on top of our model. I'm actually going to lower the master opacity a little bit more. So go to settings, master opacity. Also, I don't see my shortcuts anymore. So I just lowered the opacity quite a lot. Okay, so I can see that I'm close, but not exactly the proportions I need. So what I'm going to do is just make very small micro adjustments. I think the main thing I'm knowing is the legs are actually a little bit longer than just by a tiny bit. So let's just grab our selection tool, and I'm just going to grab the upper body here and then just kind of move that to the side here. And then get that height up there a little bit and see how we're doing on the head position. Head position's looking all right. All right, let me see where the arms are at relative to our thing. So we're going to rotate the guy or the gal or the robot. It's not a gender, actually. It's just it's an AI. Unless they trained it on gender data, then it might have an experience. I don't know. I don't know what the training data is. Okay, actually, the arm looks pretty accurate to the reference image here. Just kind of overlaying it to assess it. Looks pretty good, and I think that's good for that arm. Cool, cool, cool. I'm gonna snap this back up together here. See where the groin is. Looks like the groin height is correct. Looks like there's a little bit more of a thigh gap distance. That actually will help me when we rig this up, because I want this animated later tonight. It'll help me if I do the rigging. If there's a little bit of space between the leg, between the inner thighs, so that we can actually push the model and not have the leg binding get mixed up. So I'm going to grab the inner line on the head on the leg geometry here. I go to polygon selection, go to edge detection, and just grab a live edge. I'm just going to grab these two edges. Actually, I guess we just grab the triangular face there. So we'll grab the triangle and grab this triangle. And then I'm just going to parse these away from each other very slightly. It would just make the rigging software have less trouble rigging the groin by creating a little bit of space. I usually, when I'm modeling characters, I try to keep them more in an A pose, where the legs are kind of at an A, like not too much like an A shape, but just a little bit at an A shape, and it just helps with the binding and stuff. Okay, I think we're ready to go into ZBrush. So I wanted to kind of do this first, because this is going to be probably the low res model that I'm going to be projecting onto the high res model. So let's take a look at the wireframe. I'm going to go ahead and display the wireframe lines. It's actually a very lightweight model. A little too lightweight, actually. I'm going to make it a little bit heavier. So we're going to go to our subdivision surfaces and subdivide our polygon mesh so that we get a little bit more geometry. Even just doing a subdivision of 1 will be smoother, but I'll just do a subdivision of 3, which increases the number of polygons quite a lot, but it's okay. So because I'm going to copy this and save the low poly mesh for later. So I'm just going to save that low poly mesh. What am I doing? Poly mesh. Save it as. I'm going to move that there. I'm just going to rename that low underscore poly, or low polygon count. And then we're going to take the high res model here and then connect it. So I'm going to do connect objects and delete. Hello, welcome. Today we are live streaming onto YouTube as we are here. Oh, we got Rotmi joined us on YouTube. Says, how much experience do you have with such digital technology, VR and AR, etc.? Ooh, I'm proud to say that I have a lot of experience with AR and VR technologies, and I'm one of the top 90 creators amongst Facebook, and then I'm also a lens creator on Snap, and I've done a lot of AR projects for a lot of different brands and businesses. I love this stuff. It's very fun and it's very futuristic. All right, so we're going to do connect objects and delete. So now we have our high polygon model here. This will be great for AR. And sorry, we have the low polygon model here, and we have the high polygon model. I'm going to hide the low, and then going to take the heavy model. I'm just going to call this high poly, because it stands for high polygon count. I spelled it wrong. High polygon. There we go. And so yeah, so today we're making the Tesla suit that was just announced like 4 hours ago, and I thought it looked kind of cool and futuristic, so I wanted to make it a thing. All right, so next thing I'm noticing is the face is actually perfectly smooth, but I'll probably do that kind of work inside of ZBrush. So we're going to temporarily delete the low poly model. Poof, it's gone. And we just have the high poly model here. And I'm going to go to File, Export. Oops. Try it again. We're going to go to File, Export, and we're going to export this as a OBJ file. I'm going to leave the axis orientations, leave those, and then we're going to just save this into a new folder. Call this one Tesla underscore bot, Tesla bot. And we'll save this into a folder called mesh and hit open, and we'll hit save. Cool. Now we're going to close that, and then we're going to open up ZBrush, and then we're going to import this in here. So we're in ZBrush. I'm going to find my import tab somewhere in here. Forgot where it is. I love ZBrush's power, but I hate its user interface. It's not great. Oh, we got a question from Rock to Me. It says, what an achievement. Oh, thank you so much. It says, you were involved in Little Nas X's Panini video production. Yes. Yeah, I did the motion capture for the music video. So I was on set with Little Nas, and I had his choreographer in my motion capture suit, and then worked with the choreographer to get all the motions in there into the performance. And then I worked on cleaning up that motion capture data, polishing it up, and then sending it back to the production house so that we could put the robot's skin on it, and then have the robots dance next to Little Nas in the music video. And I'm really happy with the way it came out. We can see, we're going to go to the import. Wait, where's the import tool? Oh, there it is. So go to tool, go to import. I'm going to import the thing Tesla bot mesh. Let's go ahead and import that geometry. And so now we are inside of ZBrush, which has a lot of power is in ZBrush. So first thing I want to do is maybe Dynamesh this all together. So I'm going to hide that top bar. Dynamesh is a technique that kind of just blends all the geometries together as one mesh. Because right now it's still interpolating it as separate meshes. Oh, actually, it looks like it's kind of working. If I go to the move brush, let's see what happens. Okay, it looks like it is combining all the meshes together. So I guess we are okay. So yeah, what I wanted to do is just kind of smooth out the face in here. We could have done that inside of, I'll go to the master here, go to the master settings. I'm going to change the master opacity so I can see the true color here. And then I just want to look more closely at the head of the suit. So yeah, it's a lot smoother. So we're just going to reduce the size of our brush. And I'm just going to use the mouse and keyboard here. I mean, you could use a Wacom's tablet. It's also great. But I also sometimes just do modeling right with the mouse, even when I'm in ZBrush. All right, now we're going to add some clay. And I'm just going to put some clay on there, a little dab of clay, and then smooth out that clay. Then we're going to go to our geometry tools and go to the Dynamesh and go ahead and up that resolution and just do a quick Dynamesh, which will smooth out some stuff. There it goes. So now it's all one piece of geometry. You see how it created that seam here? Now it's all one piece. So now I can really go in and smooth out all the little bumps that came from my initial model. So I'm just in ZBrush here. We have symmetry turned on by default. You can turn off and on symmetry inside of ZBrush, which is also pretty cool. You are not constrained to anything. And right now we're not worrying about color or texture. We're only worrying about shape and geometry. All right, let's see if there's any side angles of the suit. Okay, I don't see any side angles, so we might need to see. Oh wow, thank you so much. Midstream, what are you working on? Oh, so what we're working on is Tesla just announced they're making a robot, which is kind of funny and ironic. So I wanted to get ahead of the curve and make it into like a 3D model first, and then most likely open source it, and then make it an AR filter so that people can start making content with it potentially. And I just thought that would be kind of fun to do. And so that's what we're doing right now. We're just in the earliest phases of this process where we're modeling it. Yeah, we'll be ideally UV unwrapping this, texturing this, and kind of taking it through that process tonight, depending on where you are in the world. Yeah, because we're just getting started. So this is going to be for the Tesla suit. How funny is that? Or not Tesla suit, sorry, that's actually a different product from a different company. Oh no, the fingers merged together. That's actually really hard to fix. So At least like it's hard to fix in post. So we might need to return back to it before we fused all the geometry together. Unfortunately, I don't have a good workaround for that. So I'm going to go to my subtool menu, hide this body. It's weird, it's not hiding the body, it's still there. I don't know, I might need to refresh this. Or what we should have done is probably spaced out the fingers. We should have spaced out the fingers in Cinema 4D before bringing it in here. So luckily I still have Cinema 4D open in the background here. So I'm just going to open that back up. Oh yeah, these fingers are way too close, and it looks like that finger got like opened up somehow. That was an accident. Did this finger do that too? No. Okay. All right, so we ran into some little errors here. I'm gonna back up a little bit. Might have to redo everything, but that's okay. That's the process. That's the process. Oh, I see. Yes, I had it. I forgot to seal the finger. Let me seal that up. So just looks like they increase a polygon here, and then they create another polygon right there. And then what I did is then combine this to that. Cool. And then we combine this to that. Combine this to that. It's like sewing. It's like 3D sewing. Cool. And now I'm just going to pull on that forward. Okay. So that's going to work. And then if we were to subdivide it, that's the real test. If it can pass being subdivided, it will work in lots of different situations. Subdivision is when it smooths it out by increasing or decreasing the number of iterations it makes per polygon. And what's cool about that technique is you still have full flexibility to do stuff. So I'm going to grab all of the finger here as much as I can. And then I want to maybe move the finger. But the hand is, let me see, is it going to be easy to merge the character again? Let's see. So I might have to merge the character because I don't want to have to redo the hand, but we might have to redo the hand on both sides here. So I need to rotate these separately from each other. So okay, it's fine. I'll just do what we got to do. So I'm just going to rotate the finger here. I'll be here all through the stream just listening to all the stuff you're saying, which I don't understand. Oh no, if you don't understand something, you know, this is a safe place for questions. So feel free to ask things, and I'll kind of look up and down periodically from the screen and try to answer the questions as I see them. So what I'm doing right now is called polygon modeling. Each of these little squares that you see highlighted, these are called polygons. And every 3D model, for the most part, is made out of polygons. And what's cool is polygons, you know, you can use them to define really any attribute about a model. And you know, you can decide its shape, its texture, its contours, and you know, a lot of the makeup of a 3D thing can be done through its polygons. And so what I'm doing right now is kind of trying to space out the fingers so that when we bring it into a different tool, the fingers won't merge all together. They'll all stay separate, which will help a lot in the next phases. So I'm going to need to do that. So I like to kind of just, it's called splay. You want to do some splaying on the fingers. Boona, I'm going to switch out the lens because I do want to show my mouth when I'm talking, and it's kind of hard for this filter doesn't really show my mouth, so I don't like that for teaching purposes. So I am going to switch the filter out to something that shows my lower face. Even this banana filter. I'm going to be a banana now for a little bit. All right, so now I'm a banana. Let me just tilt the camera. If you're not seeing the banana, it's because you're not on YouTube. I'm streaming on YouTube as we speak. So now I'm a banana. I'm a banana teacher. For those of you on Instagram, you want to see what I'm talking about. This is what I look like right now on YouTube. So if you want to join me on YouTube, you will see the banana character as the teacher of this tutorial. Okay, so what we're going to do is continue to kind of move the fingers out and splay it so that we're able to create some nice space for the Tesla bot. I'm going to go to these fingers here and grab these polygons as well. Another thing too, Rotmi, Ibrahim Buna is really skilled in 3D as well. And if you have questions, I feel comfortable saying that Ibrahim Buna can also answer them. A big part of what I try to do here is make a community of digital creators, and Ibrahim Buna is definitely a part of that creative community. We all kind of learn from each other and grow together, and so just wanted to reiterate, it's a safe place for questions about what's going on and what tools we're using. And if you have questions, I feel comfortable saying that Ibrahim Buna can also help answer them. They're using Blender in particular, and they're really good at it. And they're a kind person as well. So it's the right kind of people to interact with, in my opinion. Okay, cool. So I just kind of splayed out all the fingers in a pretty weird, unnatural way. But the key here is when we want to rig this later, future Don is going to be happier with the fingers being splayed out like that because it's easier for me to rig. So yeah, that's why I want to do that. Next thing I want to do is maybe smooth out the face inside of Cinema 4D. And maybe, who knows, maybe even just staying inside of Cinema 4D and then going straight to Substance Painter might be a preferred workflow today. All right, so Cinema 4D comes with sculpting tools, and it basically can treat your geometry, these polygons, as if they were clay. We can grab them and smooth them out and do all sorts of cool stuff with it. First off, I'm going to reduce the subdivisions so I can see it on its more basic level. And then I'm going to select all of it. And then start off by just smoothing out this nose. We don't really need a nose on the helmet thing, because it looks like it's just a smooth piece of glass. But I am going to use the grab tool. We're going to use the grab tool. You go to standard. Oh wait, where is it? Sculpting. I'm going to use the grab tool and turn on linked symmetry. And we also want to turn on the symmetry node. And that way, whatever we do on one side happens to the other side. So I'm going to try to find a straight up angle of the head and try to get the shape to match that a bit better. So it looks like the chin comes out, or it looks like the neck is a little bit thinner than a human neck. I'm just going to push the neck in there. And it looks like it's tapered in a little bit on the sides. I'm guessing it would also be tapered in the front and the back like this. Maybe bring it back out a little bit. And then the head is a little bit more like a trapezoid towards the lower half and a little bit more like a balloon on the top half. I think the head's a little bit longer than what I have, so I'm just going to lengthen the head up a little bit. And it looks like the torso is more of a tube and less of a trapezoid. So we're going to make the torso more tube-like. And then looks like the waist comes out a little bit here on the sides. Let's look at the calf muscle. Looks like it has pretty big calves. In the talk, Elon Musk said that this thing would only be able to go 5 miles per hour, even though it looks like it's built to run much faster. But maybe it's going to be just like their Tesla cars where they you could like enable that or disable that. I mean, you can definitely enable it and disable it with code. But anywho, oh, we got some questions on YouTube here. It says, thank you so much, Don. It's my pleasure and honor. Yay, cool. And people making connections with each other, helping each other out in this learning world. All right, so let's take a look at the chin. Get in nice and close, and I'm going to kind of pull on that face to kind of round off those edges. Okay, cool. So nice. Now what I'll do is take this detail, go to our standard view, and turn on subdivisions. So now that just smoothed out all of our existing geometry. I'm going to turn off the wireframe real quick just so I can see what it feels like. Let me see how the tummy's looking. Looks like the tummy doesn't go out like a human, it goes inwards like a robot. I'm gonna push the abdomen inwards, so it's more like the robot here. And then I'm guessing the back wouldn't be as thick as well, because a lot of the other proportions are very tube-like. So funny how a subtle adjustment to these proportions and it totally changes the character's form. Oh, let's look at the feet. I should probably get these feet to look a little bit more pointed forward, because when I rig this up, it will confuse it if the feet are at an angle like that. So I'm just going to kind of bring those feet down to like a resting position and kind of swivel the nose of the foot forward a bit, and then bring up the side, and then try to get this as flush with the floor as we can, just so that rigging is not going to be. I'll probably use auto rigging for this. I'm not feeling like doing like complete custom rigging tonight either, but auto rigging, yes. Okay, so that looks pretty close to the proportions that I'm seeing. Maybe the hips are a little bit wider, actually. Taking it back. Let's go back to our sculpt grab tool, and I'm just going to grab the waist here and just pull on it a little bit, and then thin out the legs, maybe raise the groin. Okay, how's this feeling? Oh, hello, Sandcat. Welcome on YouTube. We are streaming both to Instagram and YouTube in the middle of the night here in California. Because I just learned about the Tesla robot, the Tesla bot, like 30 minutes ago, and I was like, whoa, I want to try to model this thing. Okay, this is a pretty good angle of the side of the head here, so we can get a better idea. So it looks like there's a lot more of a chin than I originally imagined. So I'm gonna pull on that lower face to kind of get that chin action come in. This polygon thing is kind of a mess, so I'm gonna go out of polygon mode here, and I'm debating this. Should we eliminate these polygons and then we'll have to re-UV map it? This is already perfectly UV mapped if we kept all of the polygons. Let me see if we can just start, let's see if we can just continue with this, because once I start changing the actual polygons dramatically, it will just require a lot more time in the UV unwrapping process, which is fun sometimes. But I don't know if I want to stay up till 5. I want to stay up a little bit later, or sorry, a little bit earlier than that. Okay. Okay, so this looks, let's see. No, it's a little bit more round in the front here, but it's not as pointed. It's a weird thing. It's like it's rounded, not pointed. That feels eh. Thank you, Always Coding. It says, will you convert this to VR? Sandcat asks on YouTube. And the answer is, I mean, I guess it will work in VR. My intention with this was to make an AR filter out of it, but now that you bring it up, it is, there's no technical limitation why it can't be working. in VR. So I'll put that as a maybe. Put that as a maybe. My intention is mostly just to do the AR stuff tonight, or at least do the asset creation part, because that will be fun. Okay, so we got this here. Make the chin a little bit wider on the bottom and a little bit flatter, wider chin, and then maybe pull on the jawline and pull on the scalp here, make it a little bit flatter on the top. Let's see if there's another side angle. It looks like the head kind of goes back a little bit higher. Make space for the computation units that they probably put in there. Actually, the brain of the thing I think was in the torso from what I saw. It looked like it was just like a lot of the same build they have in the Tesla cars is like just built into the chest of the character. Imagine wearing this and riding a Tesla in space. I know. I feel like these things, like robots, are probably going to be our explorers of space, especially as time goes on. Because every time we send out another rocket into space, and like NASA and stuff, we end up learning that we know less and less about the universe than we did before. So, eventually to explore the furthest reaches of the cosmos, we'll probably need to send robots, like, only. And then you'll have to like telepresence into them, like a Zoom call from Earth, and you'll be like a robot avatar. Okay. Cool. So we got the shoulders. The arms are a little bit stronger than I thought. Yeah, it looks like there's a little bit more muscle mass in the arm there. So I'm gonna grab the model geometry. We're gonna go back to our sculpting tool, and I'm gonna change it from grab to inflate. And I'll just very lightly inflate the arms here. The inflate brush is a very sensitive one. I always end up inflating too much when I use it. It's a nice tool. It's just, it's sensitive. So I just try to do very subtle clicks, because if you drag on it, you can really change the geometry of your character very quickly. And so, yeah, just kind of looking at the joints here, looking at that front profile. Maybe we'll, increase that width of that will inflate the calf a little bit, that calf muscle. Yeah, just a little bit. Cool, 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 cool. Let's go back to our standard mode. Okay, we got the base geometry out of the way. I think I can convince the eyeball that the rest is that it's the Tesla suit with texture alone. So that's what I'm going to probably lean into next. It's 3 a.m. in Utah in the United States. Just kidding, it's 2:30. It's actually, yeah, I'm about an hour ahead of you right now. Thanks for joining, Blake. Right now it's about 1:30 a.m. in Los Angeles. And if you're joining us on YouTube, you know that I am currently a banana. Yes, a banana is leading the tutorial here on YouTube. So, and it has head rotation tracking. It's got some joint chains in here, and there's some nice physics simulations. Those are my eyeballs. These are my teeth. You can see me smile and laugh. Ha ha! So, yeah. Just a little fun break there. Right back to it. Let's get right back to it here. Okay. So, what are we doing? It says inflate the feet a little bit. Oh, good call. Yes, inflate the feet. I did not think about the feet. You're right, because the feet look like little tiny pegs. Let's go ahead and grab that inflate brush and just inflate the feet a little bit on the ball of the foot here. Just gonna inflate, 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 and then counter inflate on the inside of the foot, so we get a nice little bridge underneath the foot there. Because it looks like the foot's a little more angular. And then we can just inflate that big toe, and then maybe deflate whatever this is. I don't know what part. I don't know foot geometry actual terms. Okay, so we got our Tesla bot geometry made. And yeah, I think that's the right proportions. Actually, right, the feet maybe could get inflated a little bit more. So we're going to go right back to the feet, make the inflate brush a little bit bigger so it's a little bit more dramatic. Go back out of it. Feels about right. I think the calf muscles are too strong now, so I'm going to reduce the calf muscle a little bit. Okay. And then it looks like the back got a little lumpy. I'm going to smooth it out. All right, Tesla suit on its way. Tesla robot. It's not a suit. It's a robot. It's a robot. It's the Tesla bot. Um, is that a real-time cloth sim on the banana peel? Yes, that is a real-time cloth sim on the banana peel. It's a fake cloth sim. So what they do is they tie about like 12 joints into each banana peel, and then they can run a dynamics drag delay on each joint, and then it creates the illusion of cloth. I mean, pretty much it's like cloth, but it's not actually calculating every collision of the polygons that make up the peel. It's only calculating the collisions. There's no collision detection. I take it back, because these will pass right through each other. But it does have jiggle dynamics on the peel. Okay, so looking good. Let's move into the next phase, UV unwrapping. So it turns out I used this base mesh that I've already UV unwrapped before. So a lot of the work should already be done. Let's take a look at the model here. I see some weird stuff going on. I don't know what all that orange stuff in the background is. Let's see if we can debug it. I don't know what polygons that is. Or maybe that's just like one polygon. What polygon is this? Which polygon is this one gigantic polygon referring to? This is one polygon. What is that doing? Oh, maybe it was the fingers. Ah, it was. Look at that. Ah, yes, the fingers. Because I added the fingertip because it was missing from my base model. So this is all of the surfaces of the finger there that didn't get registered. Um, what I'm going to do is just do UV unwrap it. Okay, so that's all the parts of the finger. Actually, I'm not going to really be doing too much to the finger of this character, so I might just auto unwrap this like that, and then shrink it down, and just try to fit it as close to the hand as possible. But I'm not tripping. I'm not going to be spending a lot of time adding texture paint to the finger. I don't anticipate that being a big focus for the character. So I'm just going to move that UV island. One pro tip with UV islands is you want to make sure that they are. Oh, we got a question. Blake says, "Hey, well, I'm off to work, but keep up the learning. I'll be back to check out the rest of the live stream after it's finished." Oh wow, thank you so much. Good luck with your work today, and yeah, we'll be at it for a little bit. Yeah, so what I'm doing right now is I'm moving the UV island. And a pro tip is you want to make sure that adjacent UV islands are about the same size. Otherwise, the texture will scale at a weird dimension if it's not like proportional to the adjacent regions. So I'm literally placing this UV island, even though we added it separately, I'm placing it by the finger. And then I'm also just trying to look at the relative scale, like see how this one's about that size and this one's about this size. I want to keep those pretty much the same. And that way, when we go on to painting the hand, the finger won't have a different texture resolution than the rest of the hand. It's a little detail, but I think it's important to think about that when you're making your 3D models. And then with it subdivided, you can see that here's the smoothed out version, the smoothed UVs. So here's the smoothed out version of our character. So it's all jello-y. And I think we are ready. So yeah, this model is UV unwrapped because we started off with a base model that already had the unwrapping done from earlier work. And we can increase or decrease the number of polygons. I might just go down one level so it's a little bit less heavy, and it will load on more devices, including older Android devices on Snap and on Instagram. Haven't decided which one I'm going to put it on yet. Okay, so this looks like it's all ready to go. So we're going to connect objects and delete. So now we're just left with one giant object that's unwrapped, and it's got some good UVs. Let's go ahead and save this project, because this is where I like to save. Otherwise, we'll have to redo a lot of work, which is fun sometimes. But tonight, I don't feel like redoing all this. So let's just save our work when we're in a good spot, which we are right now. And then we're going to go to our standard view here and take a look at the model. One more last inspection. Okay, I think we are ready to start painting this to make it look like photorealistic and stuff. So let's do that. Oh, we got a question here on Instagram. It says, it's me, Yogesh, says, hey Don, how did you make the 3D model, the Tesla AI bot? Oh, I think I answered that earlier on YouTube. But yeah, we start off from the base model. Actually, I should show you that base model so you can see the before and after. I always recommend working off of a base model in any practice, because it will save you time, and it will also it'll let you focus more on the creating aspect and less on the technical hurdles to get there. So here's what it looked like. Oh, that's not it. That's the after one. Where's the before? Okay, so this is what the base model looked like before. I'm going to bring it side by side so you can see the before and after. So this is, oops. So this was the base model, right, that I had, and I changed the body proportions to look like this character over here so that it fits along with our reference images. Because when I brought up our reference image, I put it next to my body mesh, I realized very quickly that this was not the right proportions, not the right height, not the right head size, not the right arm length of what we're modeling. So we pushed and pulled the geometry of this model, and we pushed and pulled it to fit this model. And that's why it's saving so much time. We don't have to redo the UV maps because we're using a lot of the same UV coordinates. UVs are axes. It's the U axis and the Y and the V axis, U and V. All right, so that is that. We're gonna go ahead and close that one. And yeah, now we can move into the painting process. So I'm going to apply a random material. This is not the paint color. I just apply this to make sure that Substance Painter knows that my model has a texture applied to it. I'm going to get rid of any unneeded data and make sure that my UV maps are still there. Yep, UV maps are still happy campers. Good, good, good. All right, so yeah, now that we have a model that is modeled and it is UV unwrapped, we can now paint it inside of Adobe Substance 3D Painter. We'll be talking a lot more about Adobe Substance products during Adobe Max this year. I'll be speaking and have a whole presentation I put together and have been working on, presenting for Max. It'll be on, I think, October, I forgot the date, 28th, maybe October 28th, I think is when the Adobe Max is, and it would be great if you could join us there. Okay, so let's move into painting. We want this thing to look like like this, and we have a perfect reference because they just released it like 5 hours ago. So what I'm going to do is export this model out of here. So we're going to go to File, Startup, go to File, Export this OBJ file format. I'm going to save this one as ready to paint in the Tesla bot. Cool. And then just to make sure that the memory is not too crunched, we're going to go ahead and close the other programs I had running. So I'm going to close ZBrush. We don't need that. And I'm also going to close, actually, let me open up Substance Painter and make sure that the model loads in properly. And then if it's ready to paint, then we'll close Cinema 4D afterwards and continue it. Hello, VastFlow, welcome. Of course, no problem. I'm always happy to share and share knowledge I'm trying to make this XR industry more accessible. And the only way to do that is by sharing knowledge. And in my case, I share most of it for free, which drives the folks mad that sell this information. Because they're like, stop it. You don't need their courses when the information is free and abundantly available. Anywho, let's go. So we're in Adobe Substance 3D Painter, and we're going to go ahead and import our model. I'm going to make sure I choose a template for how the shader is going to be interpreted. I'm going to choose the Lens Studio starter assets. Or I might do Instagrams. I can't decide yet. We can change that later, but for now I'm going to leave that. I'm going to push this up to 1024. Or you know what? We'll just do this in USDZ. I think that would be cool. I can't make up my mind. There's so many formats. We'll keep it in Lens Studio for now. Okay. And now we're going to navigate to our model. So I'm just going to search for the Tesla bot that we made and choose the Ready to Paint model. And we'll hit OK. And now our Tesla bot should appear in Substance Painter. On the left, we have our 3D model. Sweet, looking good, looking good. On the right, we have our UV maps. And what we do is we can paint either the 3D model or we can paint the UV maps. They're both available to us. And we have our reference. So this is what we're going to try to make it look like. So I'm going to start off with that glass shader. And we can make a glass shader quite easily. Also, I'm looking at this. Looks like the room that they put this character in has a strong key light on the top and a strong key light on the front. And it looks like, so it's got a rim light, it's got a top light, a side light, it's a 3-point light system. So what I'm going to do is match that lighting in Substance Painter. So we're going to pull up the environmental opacity, turn off environmental blur, turn on shadows because it's fun. Everything's fun in here. And then I have these different environment textures that I already have. So I have a 3-point or 4-point light studio in here. This one is probably pretty close. I'm going to throw that on there. Actually, it looks like this is too light. I think we need a darker room. So I'm going to grab this Studio 6 lighting. Not dark enough. Let's go into another studio. Okay, this one looks like it has the right lighting environment that will look really good. Let me just try a couple more for fun. Fun. Okay, so this one's got, it's a little too bright actually. So maybe just do one light system in here. And that's just too dark. All right, so I just like to, I mean, you can kind of work any way that you like with Substance Painter, but for me, I like to kind of see lights around my scene that are similar to what I want the end result to live in. That way, whatever I see is kind of whatever I'm going to get. We got some questions here. Ibrahim Buna says, we all appreciate that, Don. I personally learned a lot from your live streams. Yay! Goals. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to turn down the environment opacity. So all we're being left with is the lighting information. And let's bring in our reference. So the first thing I want to do is the glass on the helmet. So to do that, I'm going to fill the whole object with a color. I'm going to go ahead and fill it with a black. And then what you'll notice is that we do get some, we have some reflections in there, but what you're noticing in the reference image is that the reflections are really sharp. And the way that we get sharp reflections is by reducing the amount of roughness that a surface has in 3D. So the roughness slider is a parameter right here, and you can change it. So we can make it more rough, which makes it more matted, or we can make it less rough, which makes it more like, you guessed it, glass. So right off the bat, we got our glass shader right in there. And yeah, it's a nice black glass. I'm going to make it a little bit more aged and stuff, or maybe I'll make it, I don't know, maybe we'll see. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to keep switching out my lights again for no reason. Switch out the lights, switching out the lights, switch out the lights again. Okay, I guess we did have some pretty good lighting there, so I'll just kind of leave it at that. All right, so now it's great that we have the glass, but you're noticing the glass shader is happening all over the character's body. And so we don't want that, right? Because this model only has that glass on the front portion of the character. So the way we do this in Substance Painter is we create a mask. So what we do is we right click on the layer and we choose add a black mask. And now it looks like everything's gone and you're always like, oh no, I lost all my work. Nope, it's just masked because wherever we draw now is going to reveal that mask. So that's how you can isolate a glass shader to one spot. I don't have symmetry turned on right now, so it would normally be pretty hard for me to kind of try to make a perfectly smooth shape. So we can turn on symmetry up at the top here. And Vast.flow says, are all of these softwares paid or free? Ooh, unfortunately, everything I'm using right now is paid. All of them. My suggestion to you, if that's a big hurdle where you don't have any budget for software, is to get and download Blender. Blender can do almost all of this same stuff, and it's 100% free. It's a little bit different workflow, but it's at least 100% free, and it can technically do, like all the stuff that you're seeing in here for sure. It's not as friendly with material painting as Substance Painter is going to be, but it still can do it. So that's my suggestion to you. If you're seeing this and you're like, dang it. So yeah, I'm going to turn on this feature called Lazy Mouse, which smooths out the strokes. We could be using a stylus, but I don't want to use my stylus right now. I want to just use my mouse, and so this is like Lazy Mouse, which is perfect for that decision. And then I'm going to erase a little bit of the edges as well. Cool. Let's go to a front view here. Looks like it tapers a little bit more into the bottom. It's like a Power Ranger. Looks like the white Power Ranger from the 90s. All right, we're going to add a little bit up to the top here. Okay, cool. I mean, that's looking pretty accurate. Ish. Could be better. Could be better. We got some questions coming from Sandcat. Says, how would you change the color of the highlights? Tint the highlights makes it looks like it's more metallic. You can use Blender. It's all-in-one software. Sandcat says procedural materials is the way to go in Blender rather than texture painting. I think it's a bit tough to do in Blender. Okay, that's good feedback. So yeah. And then the question of how to change the color of the tint. In Substance Painter, you can actually upload your own images in here. These are called HDRI maps, stands for High Dynamic Range Images. You can load up your own HDRIs. You could paint it in Photoshop. You could paint it in Procreate. You could take a photo of something, and then you could use that to light your scene if you wanted to change the color of those lights. They're not real lights. They're like baked lights into images, but the software will treat them like a light source, and we can rotate that image around to get the simulation of real-time lighting, which is fun. All right, so I'm going to get in a little bit closer here and smooth out these bits on the edges. And I'm noticing some aliasing happening. Aliasing happens when your UV space is not high enough resolution. And the UV space is this. You see how the texture that applies this paint makes up a very small percentage of this square. This square is the UV tile. You got the U axis and the V axis, UV. And in that UV space, only this many pixels were dedicated towards the mask, which is why we're getting the aliasing and the pixelization around the edges. If you wanted to remove those pixels, then we would need to dedicate this to have more space in the whole model, which I'm already kind of thinking I should have done. Or we have to increase the resolution of the whole texture tile, which in AR, you don't always have that as an option. In AR, you have to really be conscious about your file usage, your memory usage, because it just won't work. You know, it just won't upload. So I'm just going to increase the texture resolution because Snapchat did just increase. They just doubled the allowed size of a filter in the last 2 weeks, and so with that doubling means I can get away with a higher resolution texture. Oh wow, this is already doubled. I have a 2K texture. Let's do 4K. Cool. So I made it a 4K resolution map. A lot more memory is used there. And luckily, since Substance Painter is all procedural, we can change the resolution. We can up the resolution or lower the resolution way later, and it's not scaling up pixels. It's rather, it's literally redrawing it with all your same work. It's really, it's very sophisticated. Okay, that looks pretty good. Vast.flow says, but your fundamental 3D design can be applied in even though we use different software. Yes, this process that I'm showing you is a process that can be mirrored in every 3D software. They just have different names for the same tools. I think of it as like learning a new accent on a language versus having to learn a whole new language. So like I'm teaching you the accent of Cinema 4D and Substance Painter, but those words would still translate in Blender and Houdini and 3ds Max and Maya. I've got some questions coming up on YouTube. Says, is it possible to export a high resolution UV map and map it onto the low resolution 3D mesh? I'm so happy you said that, and the answer is yes. They have baked mesh maps as an option in Substance Painter, and they are phenomenal. Yeah, you can. I totally recommend that. In fact, that's something I forgot to do. I normally bake my mesh maps as my first step. Let me do that. I'm gonna go to Edit, Bake Mesh Maps, and it's right here. You can basically choose the output resolution that you want, and then you can give it a 3D model that if you have a high-res model, you can load it up in here, and then it will bake all of the high-res detail as a texture onto the model. But I'm just going to bake itself onto itself and see if that gives us any cool data. So I'm going to do bake selected. No, I want to do bake, just bake all. Bake, 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 bake. Okay, cool. So that just gave us a little bit more information to paint our model, which I'll definitely like. All right, so the next thing I'm looking at is the head here. It looks like a fabric. It looks like a fabric material. I already have some base fabrics that I've downloaded in the past, so I'm going to start off from them. So I'm going to search up FAB for fabric, and looking for some of my fabric materials. None of these are totally. This one's cool. Fabric stretchy. I'm going to apply this to the whole model. Looks pretty cool already. Looks really cool actually. And what I'm going to do is put it behind the glass. And then we're going to go to the settings, the hexagon pattern. I'm going to turn off that hexagon pattern because it doesn't have it on their thing. And then it already has a pretty good amount of stitching in there. I might lower the height map so it's not so strong. Because right now the height map is coming off really strong and it's popping off too much. So I'm going to turn down the histogram position of our fabric. And that will help alleviate some pressure on the texture. So I'm going to go to that height map and then just reduce that height. Or you can inverse the height. I'm just going to reduce it. Still want it to be positive height, but I just want it reduced. There we go. So now it's just it's like a light stubble. But again, you're seeing that it's applying it to the whole thing, including our glass, which has a cool effect in and of itself. That looks really cool. But I don't want to do that here. I actually want this to be a glass still. So the technique still applies. We are going to use a masking technique. So I'm going to grab the whole model and apply a black mask. And then with our brush, we just go ahead and paint in with symmetry turned on. I'm going to paint in where I need that fabric to occur. And again, you can also paint your UV coordinates as well. You got options in Substance Painter. You can paint the UVs, or you can paint the 3D model. You can jump back and forth between them. You don't have to pick and choose. You can do them whenever you feel like it. Actually, what am I doing? I could probably just use the existing mask that we already made and then just invert it so that we don't have to repaint all that again. So I'm going to copy this mask from earlier, go to copy mask, and then go to our model here and add a white mask. And then I'm going to paste it into here. Oh wait, that did the exact opposite. I want it to be the exact opposite of that. Wait, what do I do? Oh, I guess should I do a black mask? Let's do a black mask and then paste this into it. Paste into mask. And then I'll grab an invert effect. So go to add filter and choose invert. Cool. And now the fabric is everywhere except the glass, which is sweet. I'm also noticing this little problem here going on. This is probably from the ambient occlusion layer. I'm going to disable ambient occlusions because I always get this problem and I don't want to deal with remodeling it. So I'm just going to delete the ambient occlusion. It actually didn't help it that much there. I'm not sure what data that is reading. Is it thickness? Huh, I don't know. We got some more questions coming up. Oh, awesome, says Ibrahim Buna. Thank you. All right, so let's get the color of this working. And also, we will remove the fabric from the rest of the body here with a mask within a mask. You can do a root mask. So I grouped it all together, and then I'm going to add another mask on top of it. And now wherever I paint is only going to be not the glass on the top of the head, and not the body, and not the rest of the body. So we can kind of make our shape in here now. Yeah, Substance Painter is great as long as you do your UV maps. If you skip UV mapping and you go straight into Substance Painter, you're not going to be happy. It's not a happy time because it's going to break. It wants a UV map. Now there is some situations where you can not give it a UV map, but that's only if you don't want a repeating texture on the model. Like if there's no seam, that's fine. But chances are you might want like a certain texture to only be in one spot, and it will bite you later if you don't deal with that in the here and now. All right, cool. Now let's get the color to match. Looks like they're using a very deep navy blue on the base color. So I'm going to go to my base color layer and just get that dark blue. And it's a pretty desaturated blue as well. We don't want to move it towards saturation. We want to move it towards desaturation. It's almost like a grayish, darkish, bluish, blackish kind of thing. Cool. And then I'm also noticing that my surface is a little too reflective. So I'm going to go to that base roughness and increase the roughness so the light scatters even more along the surface of the fabric, which will help it match the reference here. Cool. And then last but not least, I'm going to go to a height map. And by increasing the height map, we can actually make it look like the fabric is popping off of the model. You see how the light now catches. It's like a bevel and emboss technique to do that. It's like a bevel and emboss, but it's 3D. So now with that height added, it makes it look like it's popping off of the model, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, and then we can play with that metallic. I'm gonna reduce the metallic strength. Okay, cool. All right, looking good. Let's just save our work as we're going. So we're gonna go File and Save As, and I'm just gonna save this onto the Tesla bot mesh. Oh, I'll make a new folder. We'll call this one Surface. I'll call this Matte for materials. Okay. All right. So cool. We got the base of the bot there, the upper head. The next thing I want to do is work on this cool white plastic material that is for the upper Actually, they use it's like a white plastic porcelain thing, and it has a tint of green actually. Oh no, that's probably just the lighting that they recorded it in. Hey, what's up, everywhere vlogs? Hello, and hello 143. Good to see you again. Excuse me. Fast.flow says, well, you're so kind and humble. Thanks again for sharing, but I have to go. I love you. Keep doing your stuff and have more fun. Oh, wow. Thanks for stopping by, Vass. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's always cool to have new folks stop by and hang out for a little bit. And yeah, let's work on the rest of the body here. What we're going to do now is start labeling our layers. So this is going to be our glass layer. And then this up here is our blue fabric layer. So I'm just going to label that blue fabric. And then we'll make a new layer underneath it. And we'll make it bright white. And then we're also going to make it a lot less rough so that we get some shine. Weird, I don't see it really doing anything. Let me see if I put this on top of everything. Is it shiny? Can't tell. Oh, there it goes. Okay, yeah. So now it's a really shiny. It actually might help for me to see the background in this case. So I'm going to turn on the background opacity. And then, yeah, it's really bright. All right, so now we have like a plastic. We actually have some synthetic plastic materials that come with Substance Painter, and they're always a great spot to start. We have plastic gloss. I'm going to throw this on here. It's a blue material. There's also plastic gloss black. This one's kind of cool because it has some nice little scratch textures that come with it. Again, we can modify and adjust every single thing about it, but let me just go that plastic and make it a little bit shinier, and then go to that base color and just tint it white, or I'll do like an off-white so the lighting doesn't break it too much. And then we'll move that plastic gloss underneath our object. So now we have that white plastic. And we got some nice little scratches on it. Just some surface imperfections always help make the material look better in the realism factor. But if we're going for new, we might want to reduce the scratches. So there they are. It's just a layer of roughness and scratches. And then I might just take it and just reduce it a bit by reducing the height or taking off the height. There we go. So now there's no height added. All the scratches are just on the surface. Okay, cool. Cool. Not done. We're just doing the base there. And then the next thing is we have this kind of stretchy, looks like a stretchy plastic material around all the joints. That's kind of cool. Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm going to go to this white material and actually add a little tint of blue. A little tint of blue in that plastic. Just a very faint amount of blue, because it was just feeling like it was glowing. And now what we're going to do is apply a dirty plastic on top of this. And with the dirty plastic, we're going to again place it over our plastic gloss. There's our plastic gloss. There it is. So it's under there, and then we're going to take the noise parameter. It's the surface scratches. Actually, I like the surface scratches. Where is the edges, stains, base color? What does this plastering look though? It looks like it's got like a, oh, it's this thing, surface grain. Okay, yeah, I don't want the grain. I just want that solid gray, because it kind of looks like a stretchy rubber to me. And what we're going to do with this stretchy rubber is create a mask like we've been, and then draw out the shape that is the inner part of the body. So just kind of creating those vectors. And then the base color is way too dark, so I'm going to match it with the gray that I see from the photograph here. So I'm just going to pull, maybe that gray right there looks pretty good. And we got our edges, and then we have our scratches. I might reduce the scratches and the dirt a bit, and then we're just left with this mask. And now we can kind of just draw in our shapes that we want to see on our model. And then we can use that eraser brush to go in and be all precise helps that draw distance. I don't need to see the side. Oh, it looks like it goes around the whole back. I'm just guessing because I haven't seen the back of the robot. I'm okay with approximations. Okay. Cool. Looks like the lines are a little bit sharper on the legs. So I'm just going to make that a little bit sharper angle there. And then reduce the cutout a little bit up here. Actually, we should probably take a look at the UV coordinates. Might be easier to paint this on there. Okay, cool. Next thing we can also do to this material to give it some more effect is I'm going to add height so that it also carves into the model while we're painting at the same time. So now we get this little, see how there's like now an edge attached to our, there's an edge right there, you see it? I'm kind of trying to blink the edge on and off. So now it actually pushes into the model. Oops, I think I did the opposite. I think it pushed away. Let me push into the model there. And now we have some nice height maps out of that paint layer. And we'll continue to mask it out and create the shapes that we see on this Tesla bot thing. All right, so now we're going to jump back to the plastic fold here, and then I'm just going to make it a little bit of a sharper line. Make it maybe a little bit more of like a 90-degree up and down thing, and then have it go a little bit off to the side. That feels about right. Yeah. And then, yeah, that feels good. And then I might do that to the bottom here as well. Just kind of make it a little bit more boxy, like the reference here. Let's go around to the back. I'm just going to guess. I don't know what the back of it looks like, but I'm just going to make it a straight line. And then let's work on the outside back thigh here. And we go with the counter eraser to create a sharp line, of a smooth line. And increase that drawing lazy mouse. All right, looks like we got some more creases coming in on the armpit thingies. So for those, I'll just make the brush really tiny, and then we could use it basically like to carve into the model. How we do. So yeah, I'm just going to go right to the armpit here and just see where is the armpit. Oh, I guess it's just this. So we can just draw a straight line there. Oh no, that didn't do it, but if it's there. Where's the armpit? Oh, it's that to that. Okay, so we just need to draw a straight line from that point to this point, and then we'll get a pretty nice curve around the armpit. There we go. It looks like I overshot a tiny bit, so I'm going to erase that extra bit of paint. And let's connect that to the torso and the chest. So I'm just going to click in here holding shift and then kind of start to taper it. Actually, I started to taper a little too early. Let's do that again. Go out, out, and start to turn. Maybe convert this to a shape body filter. I like where your head's at. That's kind of what I was thinking of doing that. In fact, I actually used the same base model from Snap for this. So that option is super, super possible. It's like you knew. It's like you knew where I was gonna be. It's like you knew what I was gonna do. It's just fun. Yeah, it would be fun to wear this and just see the cool kinds of content people would make with it. Right, so I'm just trying to guess. All right, so the elbows are weird. They're like curves. And I don't know exactly where my elbows are. I'm gonna guess, is this where my elbow is? Like in there? Can't tell. Let's see if I aim my thumb down. Okay, if I aim my thumb down, I guess my elbow crease faces forward. So I'm gonna go to a front orthographic view for this part. We're gonna switch the camera to front ortho. So it's perfectly flat. And then we have symmetry turned on. I'm just gonna create like a little curve here. Let's see where it is. All right, so it puts it in this really weird spot. But I guess that is what we want. We switch back to perspective. So we made those little elbow thingies. I put them at an angle because I don't know what I'm doing. Let's do that for the wrist. I wish they had a way to paint a radius around a model. That would be a very useful feature for this kind of element because I have to keep going around the model and it's hard to connect my line at the end. I guess I could just paint right on the UV map for that, huh? And there we go. We got ourselves some little cloth things underneath the joints on the elbow and hand. Oh, we haven't done the hand. Hand looks complicated. Looks like they did that same kind of joint thing underneath each, what do you call it? Each finger. Got a question. Would it be easier use drawing a pen? You're right. It would be easier to do this with a pen. I just don't know where the pen is in the Wacom pen. So it is somewhere in the house. Uh, I lost it. So I don't have it. I just have the this thing. Oh, my battery's almost dying here. Should have had this plugged in. Hey friends on Instagram, I'm gonna have to cancel the stream here on Instagram because it is. I had no idea I was running on my data plan right there, and instead of Wi-Fi, which is silliness. So I need to cancel it on here. But if you want to see the rest, join us over on YouTube. We are live streaming on YouTube right now. If you search up my name, Don Allen III on YouTube, you'll be able to see it. But yeah, I'm gonna end this here on Instagram and just go to YouTube for this for the rest of it. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks, Senny. Thanks, Vass. I'll see you over on, and thank you 143LD and Miss Igorez and Sir, and yeah, and Captain. Thanks. I'll see you on I'll see you on YouTube. Sorry. Okay. Cool. Sorry, I had a data plan issue. Um, it's a little dark in this scene, so I'm gonna turn off shadows. Oh wow, it's still dark. I'm gonna go change the light. Let's go on Mars. There we go. All right. It's not really Mars. It's a different planet. All right. So it looks like the whole palm of the hand is that thing going on here. I'm going to turn off the distance. And then it looks like just like underneath each finger is kind of like that. All right. So yeah, we're just going to stream here on YouTube for right now. Great. And then we can add an eraser to emphasize the different gripping points. And I'm going to switch the brush out to not be this shape because this shape is not what I need. I kind of need a wedge kind of shape. So I'm going to look for a wedge shape in the alpha masks. There we go. I'm going to grab this wedge shape and then use that to erase a part or two around the fingers and then bring it back. Oh wow, hello everybody on YouTube. Welcome, welcome. We got some folks, we got Panic over here. We have Ibrahim Buna. Welcome, welcome. Vastflow coming through. Thank you all for joining us here on YouTube. As you can see, we're working on the hand, and I am a banana. Normal night over here, folks. Normal night. I'm just kind of imagining what the palms would look like. I don't know what they look like. I'm just playing. I'm literally just imagining it in my head, but haven't seen it. Just gonna make my own little design there, and then erase a little chunk in there. And now let's go to the fingertips. Great. Great. And then we'll grab this, whatever this shape thing was, and then kind of create some new shapes. Also, where's everybody joining us from around the world right now? Can everyone share, if you feel comfortable sharing with your fellow future proofs here in the stream, where's everybody joining us from here on YouTube right now, but where are you coming from? Fun, 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 fun. Yeah, where's everybody? Where are you coming from today? Where are you joining us from today? Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Kevin. use this heart shape to cut out the little creases on the side of the fingers here. Oops. I'm not going for precision. I'm just trying to get something that I'm just kind of happy with, and then I'll be done. Cool, 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 cool. Take a look at the other hand. Oh, I modeled the hands differently, so the information slid off. I don't care. I'm gonna leave it. I'm not fixing that. That's funny to me. Okay. Let's take a look at the feet. Oh, we got some creases on the legs going here. Looks like it's dividing. Is that the kneecap? It's kind of above the kneecap, isn't it? It's like up. It's like up here. Sorry, I got into focus mode for a second. Just trying to get this line straight here. Cool. All right. Where is everyone coming from? We said we have Malaysia and Asia for Vast Flow. Welcome from Malaysia. Hello. And we have Sanket from Nepal. Welcome, welcome. And then we have 143LD from Nebraska in the United States. We have Ibrahim Buna. Where do you live, Don? Oh, I'm in Los Angeles, California. Los Angeles, California right now. And we got some folks saying cool and thanks. It's so good to see. Look at this. We got community all over the world. It's the best feeling. You know, a lot of creative folks out there, technologists, and future proofs. All right, so let's go around the ankle here with the brush. Just paint around the ankle. I guess it's a little bit lower. That looks pretty close. Cool. And then it looks like they have a very faint line dividing the lower foot. Oh, look at that. On the calves, they actually have these little lines that kind of define the calf muscles a little bit. I'm going to turn on the distance brush. This is my trick, Buna, to have like a smooth mouse motion. If you turn on the distance slider, it slows your cursor around. So you see how you can get much smoother shapes because it doesn't start drawing until it hits the edge of that gray circle. Versus if I did that without this, I would struggle to create those same smooth lines, right? Because it's jittery. So this is called the distance brush. Other programs call it lazy mouse, and you can increase that distance and it makes it even smoother to do the same kind of motions. It's a really nice tool. That's how I can get away with doing these edges with a mouse. It's because I'm turning on the distance tool. So normally I know, not even normally, like I can't draw lines like this with my physical hands. But give me a tool and like this brush thing, and then I totally can. And then you just have to remember to turn it off and on and stuff. I'm just going to lower this a little bit here. All right. Yeah. It's yeah, look for lazy mouse in Blender. There's got to be an equivalent of it. It's too useful for Blender to not think about it, you know. I just assume it would have it. Okay. All right. So now we got to put the Tesla logo on the chest. And I might want to smooth out the lines a little bit on the top half. Yeah, let's just get the Tesla logo going here. So all we really need is a black and white image of the Tesla logo. Tesla logo. And I just want the text version of their logo. Oh yeah, so it's the regular Tesla logo. I think it's just that, right? Let's see. Yeah, yeah, that's their logo. So when you have this, this technique works with a PNG or it works without a PNG. You don't need it. It does help though to have one. It saves us a step or two. But so we lucked out actually having the logo. But what we do is we just drag it into Substance Painter. Or actually, I'm going to drag it to my desktop first, and then I'm going to drag that into Substance Painter. And then it's going to prompt you and ask a couple questions. The main question it wants to have answered is, what is this thing that you're giving it? So you have to define it. I'm going to define it as a texture. And with that texture being in here, actually no, yeah, I'll just define it as a texture. And the last thing you want to change is import resources. These are three different options. One is just the current session that we're in. This one is for the whole project file, and this one will make it a part of your library forever. You can take stuff out of the library, of course, but it's like the permanent option. So I just want this for my current session. And then we'll hit import. And there's our Tesla logo. Now, what we want to do is go into our UV map and hit F to center it all. And I'm going to zoom into my reference and kind of crop it down here so I know exactly where it should be. And looking at the thing, our logo should live right around here, right? So what we do is we apply a new material to the whole thing. So I'm just going to fill the whole thing. And just for fun, I'm going to fill it with red just so we can make it really clear what's happening. And then we're going to add a black mask. And we could, spend time writing in our thing right here, creating your own, your own t-shirt design is always kind of fun. But instead, what we want to do here is import that texture. So I'm going to add a fill, and then I'm going to fill it with that texture. And then it's kind of hard to see what it's doing. So I'm going to turn off some stuff. So now it's only looking at color. And for some reason, I'm still not really seeing it. And we should be able to see it right now. I mean, I see it faintly, very faintly. Huh. I think there might be something weird going on with that actual file. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. So actually, what I'm going to do is re-import it. Maybe not as a texture. I might import it as an alpha. So I'm going to maybe choose an alpha this time. I don't really know what happened there, why we're not seeing it. So I'm just going to try it again, import it as an alpha this time. And we still have the same problem. Huh. Yeah, I don't really know why we're not really seeing the actual Tesla logo. That's definitely how I would have gone about doing it. Maybe the red color is confusing it or something. It's almost like a hollowed out version of the logo. I'm just gonna try to find a black and white image, or better yet, oh yeah, let's just try to find the Tesla logo one more time. With a black background maybe, or a white background or something. Yeah, it looks like it's a blend mode problem, but there is blend modes, but these are all the blend modes, and it's set to normal. I mean, I'm scrolling through all of them here. It does change subtly. It's almost as if this, whatever I gave it was like the wrong information. Although this looks like the right information here. I don't know what's going on. So sometimes what I do is I actually open up Photoshop and troubleshoot it in there. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm just going to troubleshoot in Photoshop real quick, bring in that Tesla logo, and then re-export it or something. I mean, this looks fine. It's actually pretty low resolution. Oh, that might be the problem. I think it's too low res. So we have it on a 4K map and we're trying to up res it. So let me do Tesla logo PNG and see if we can find like a, that's still too small. Let me go to sizes, large. That's a lot better. Let's see, is there any larger ones? Nope, that went smaller. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, let me see. Maybe we can just import that now into Substance Painter. Let's try that again. Import this here. I'm going to import it as a texture. Current session, import. There it is, the bottom. And then I'm going to put that into our mask, go into our fills, and fill this up with that material. Weird. I don't know what's going on here, folks. Try any image to double check. Oh, good call, good call. All right, let me bring in a star system from yesterday. Define it as a texture, import it, and then drag it there. Yeah, see, this works fine. This is what it normally would look like. We should be able to just see our texture in here. So I'm gonna do a little photoshopping on it. I think it's, I don't know what data it is or something. It's miscommunicated. So I'm just gonna make a new composition and then drag in this Tesla logo. And then I'm just gonna try to delete the background and save this. Oh, you should always keep a square image as another pro tip. If you want to save some time, it's advised to keep your documents in like a perfect square, because then they won't warp when you bring them into Substance Painter. Otherwise, they'll stretch it to make it a square. So I'm just going to go there and then export this as a PNG and save this somewhere in the computer. Wait, tutorials? What is a tutorial? No. 2021. Tesla bot. Great. All right, and let's try to re-import that into the thing, into Substance Painter somewhere. And I saved it somewhere now. All right, I have good feelings that this one's going to work now because it's a square image, and square images are happier. So weird. I don't know what it's doing. I mean, I definitely see it in there. It's just like only seeing a halo of it, and not the full thing. It's bizarre. I don't know what's going on here, folks. The image to fit only the text. It has to be a square for it to be happy in Substance Painter. Although you're right, you know, it's not doing anything. How about this? I'm going to delete this material and just try this again. Maybe I'll just apply it as a base color. Oh, it's fixed. I don't know why. I don't know why it's fixed, but it is fixed. Cool. So, sorry, I don't know I don't know why that fixed it. I'm going to turn off repeat and then hold shift to keep uniform scaling. And then let's get this into the right spot. I'm seeing that it's looking a little weird. It's looking a little warped on mine because of my UV maps. So a fix for this is to change the projection type to planar projection. And planar projection is a flat projection no matter what your UV maps are. The only problem with planar though is it does go through the model. So you might have to, I wonder if I can erase that after the fact. I hope I can. Let's get that Tesla logo looking a little bit smaller here. Scale it down. Cool. Looks like it's working. And then what do I want to do with that? Okay, so we got the Tesla there, and then I'm trying to think of the best way to erase it from the back. So let me add a black mask. And only paint on the front, and then now we're good. Great. And then now there's kind of gray, and I'm just going to guess that that's maybe a laser print. So we have some options with what we can do with this. The first option is to apply this also as a metallic map. And why we would do this is so that we can have a different metallic shader only in that single area on the model. So I'm going to go to roughness here and apply the roughness there. And so now you can see how we have a slightly different roughness right where it says Tesla. It's a little hard to see. And so what we can do is mix and match this together. So we can make it, actually maybe we don't want to play it metallic, but that's roughness. And then in the parameter for a height map might be kind of cool, or a normal map might be kind of cool. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, cool. That's now that a gray. And this one will kind of have like a luminescence to it, where as the light hits it differently, it's going to look like it's glowing, which is kind of cool. It's like yeah, it's another option. Probably go with that one, the normal map route. And we have the color one, which kind of merged all of them together. The color is a little too dark. So all I really have as an option is to just lower the opacity of the whole layer. And then we kind of get, you know, then it's kind of similar to what we had before, which I guess I'm okay with. So let's turn on color, and then I'll just lower the opacity of the layer. All right, cool. I think we're done with the modeling and painting of the Tesla bot. Let me just take a quick look and do some different light passes, because that's what I like to do to assess the model. And let me turn off this group. There we go. Yeah, this looks pretty appropriate. Let's just do a quick save. Wow, thank you 143LD, and thank you Ibrahim Buna. I'm loving it. I'm loving the way this is looking. Oh wow, and especially with this lighting. Yeah, let me turn off the environment opacity. Let's make the background black. shall we? Somehow. How do I do that? I don't know how to do that in this mode. Let me go to my this is using a much higher resolution ray tracing method, accurate reflections, shadows, and stuff. It's a lot more taxing on the computers. I don't recommend using this mode. This is called iRay rendering. I don't recommend iRay rendering until you're in the kind of stages of your model and stuff. Because it's just really, yeah, this is looking good. Okay. Cool. So yeah, do stuff. Let's do a quick round and match that black background there, and then pound somewhere. Now we can just rotate our lights. Can't believe you replicated in 3D. Oh, yeah, I love images, especially when there's like a quarter angle like this, and close up and full. For me, that's kind of the most essential information to get to do a 3D model. And yeah, we have it now, so I'm happy. And cool. All right, so now we're gonna rig this thing up using an auto rigging technique called Mixamo. It's free. It's a free tool. You can rig bipedal humanoid characters like this with it. He says, but I think the 3D one is leaning more on the feminine side. Really? Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, wow. Yeah, it has to do with this. For me, it's exactly this geometry. The under the arm to the left, for whatever reason, it goes to like there's a slight angle here, and that makes it look more masculine in this one. But you're right, on mine it looks slightly more feminine, but I try to keep it as gender neutral as possible because it is a robot. Its gender is robotic. But yeah, this is looking good. All right, I'm gonna save it or export it. So I'm gonna go to export textures, and I'm gonna export the textures for what do we do? What do we do? Actually, I'll do it for Substance 3D Stager because they have a nice little FBX tool to Mixamo option that's pretty sweet now. So I'm going to export it to Substance Stager. It used to be called Adobe Dimension, and then they changed it. It's doing some rebranding and stuff. And then so I'm going to export this one. Oh no, this is in mats, and we'll make a folder called Done. And then select that folder, and I'll hit export. Great. It exported as 4K resolution. That might be too high. Yeah, that might be way too high. Let me see how big the file is. So it's OBJ. To play it safe, I'm gonna lower the resolution real quick. Let's see if we can get away with half that resolution and help the file size and decrease the download time. Where's that shader thing? I forgot where to change the texture resolution. Oh, there's texture set settings, and I'll set this to 2K. Actually, it doesn't look that bad in 2K. Yeah, it actually looks like the same. Let's see what happens if it's at 1K. Wow, even at 1K, it's not bad. I mean, I definitely like it more than, I like 2K more than 1K resolution, the text, but it's not that, it wasn't that big of a difference there, so that's good. All right, I'll do a 2K map. But I think the 3D is leaning, oh yeah, you said more feminine, I see what you mean. So what we're going to do is export this texture. Going to export it for Substance 3D Stager again. We're going to call this, instead of the done map, we're going to make this one the 2K map. This is called LODs, level of details. And you'd use different LODs for optimizing for games. So if you're going to design a game, LODs are important. You might want to have different resolutions so that people with different computer capabilities can play your game and still enjoy it. That's what LODs are all about. All right, so we get this 2K map in here. Awesome. That's the object. So now I'm going to save Substance Painter, save this project file. Now I'm going to close Substance, and I'm also going to open up Substance Stager. And we're going to go to File, Import. Oh, there's no, or I'll just do Create New. This is Substance Stager, and they have a nice little button to export selected as an FBX with textures on it, which would just be sweet to get right away. So I'm going to import my 3D model from the thing. And it should have all the textures applied to it here. Yay, it worked. All right, then we can hit F to frame it all in one shot. Cool. And then I'm going to hit export, and I'm going to export the 3D scene. Oh wait, no, I don't want to publish the scene. I want to grab the model here and then export the selected models ... into, oh, is FBX not an option? Dang it, I only did this because I thought it had FBX as an option. Okay, I don't see FBX. I guess I'll save it as an OBJ again. Actually, cancel that. I'm not doing that. Let's just go straight into Mixamo. Mixamo is pretty sweet. It lets you rig characters for free. Sign into here, and then we can just upload a character. It accepts FBX, OBJs, and zip files. Oh, actually, I wonder if we should just bring the zip with the textures in there. So if I gave it this as a zipped file, would that be okay? How do I create a zip? I forgot. Send to compressed zip. All right, let's see if it accepts that. Okay, it didn't like that. So I'm just gonna give it the 3D model. It probably won't have textures. That's the caveat. Unfortunately, I wanted to import it with textures, but I see that's not an option right now. So I'm just going to upload the object. This one should be fine. It's a pretty lightweight file. Whoa, unable to map your existing skeleton? Check best practices. What? It doesn't like our model. What's wrong with it? That was a curveball. Huh. Okay. Yes, you need to rig it. This is the auto rigger though. It rigs it for you. I don't want to spend time making my rig. So I'm going to go to the original model, and then I'm just going to export this as a, actually I'll just give it one color layer so we give it a little bit of love and attention. So I'm going to feed it color information that it's looking for. Okay, so we'll just give it that information, and then I'm going to save this as an FBX file. So I'm going to go to export. This is a hack I found. If you export it as an old FBX file, like FBX 2014, it preserves the color information when you bring it into Mixamo. So I'm going to put this as for Mixamo as an FBX. Cool. And then I'm going to import that into Adobe Aero or into Mixamo. Upload character. And then I'll choose for Mixamo FBX. It should work. I normally give it FBX files. Yay, it worked. And because we saved it as an FBX from 2014, it also preserved the color information. So now I'm gonna hit next, and then we're gonna assign this to the chin, right about there. And then these are my wrists. And these are my elbows. These are my knees. And this is the groin of the character. And I want this to have 65 bones, chain fingers. Actually, we don't need, do we need every finger? Let's do it, 65 bones, okay. And then we'll use symmetry, we'll hit next. Now it's going to auto rig. So it's taking that data into the cloud, running it through a bunch of algorithms to extrapolate where the bone should go. It's doing weight painting, it's doing binding, it's doing normalization of polygons and their influences to different joint chains. Amazing. Our character is alive. It's like Frankenstein. Awesome. Now we can go into our library and have them do different things. This is fun. Fun, 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 fun. So yeah, now I got to think about the storytelling elements of it. Hello. Let's see. Yeah, Mixamo is awesome. But everyone uses this Mixamo dance. So what we could do now, but it's too late. I could put a mocap suit on and do a little dance and then rig that, bind those bones to it. But the most important thing to get out of here is a T-pose. So I usually just load up the T-pose and then just download that. And this gives you ultimate flexibility to make this a character in a video game later on if you want to, do some animation, if you want to do motion capture. It's just a good idea to get your T-pose out of there. And I just saved that T-pose in a good spot. I'm gonna rename it T-pose of the this is the Tesla underscore bot underscore T-pose. And the reason why we want that T-pose is it's rigged and it gives you a lot of flexibility to really do anything. You can model the character however you want. You could repose it later on. I always try to get that data out. So I just got my T-pose, and then everything else after that is just icing on the cake. If we want to add some little animations, oh, that's kind of fun. They didn't really mention what the Tesla bot would be for, though, from what I understood. I mean, oh no, they did. They said it would be for repetitive, boring, or dangerous tasks. Boring, repetitive, and dangerous tasks. What is a boring, repetitive, dangerous task? Let me look up work. Oh, that's cool. Wow. That's fun. Oh, carrying things. Yeah, that's a thing. Doing your homework. Yes. That would be sweet. Jogging with box. I'll do walking with a box. I could imagine them doing this. The character has a weird tilt backwards, I'm noticing, but oh well. Let me do character arm space closer or further away. And then I'll just do walking in place. Cool, and then I could just animate that however I see fit later on. I don't know what this character is carrying. I don't really know, but I'm gonna download it. And then we'll move that. That's so cool. You can totally see the motion in there. Maybe carrying Tesla logo. Oh, that's not a bad idea. I mean, I guess would it carry a Tesla logo or like a Tesla battery? Or maybe they don't want to work at all. If they become sentient, they'll be like, no, I don't want to work. I can just and I can just play in the pool as a robot. Oh God, a chokehold thrown to the ground. Um, Basic locomotion. This is what you get for a video game pack. You can just use the basic locomotion pack. You get standstills, walks, and turns and stuff. It'd be pretty helpful. Oh wow, a CPR robot. A drunk robot. Rifle holding robot. Multi-purpose. I'm gonna look for idle because I don't anticipate people running around with this character right now, at least in how the experience I'm gonna make it. I kind of just want to have it load up in one spot and then just be in an idle looping animation. Um, Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, I like that one. And we have Happy Idol. Let's see what this is. Oh, that's nice. Adorable. We have Sad Idol, Fishing Idol, Fall. Okay, I think I have enough. And yeah, and if you wanted to bring this in augmented reality, it's as easy as hitting send to arrow, and then you'll be able to see the character in augmented reality. That's how fast you could do it. Um, that's a pretty cool thing to end with. I guess the other thing I could end with is, oh no, I'm gonna save that for later. Let me see what time it is. What time is it? Oh yeah, it's late. I'll go to sleep. Uh, yeah. But yeah, we got some animations in there, and that is all I really wanted to get going. It's my preferred favorite one, so I'm just gonna bring Warrior Idol in here. You can see the data comes in nicely, and it comes with all those bones placed in the body, and those bones are respected in augmented reality. And then you might have to just reapply your textures and stuff, but it's it's pretty friendly from here. I'd go into my shader and then fill in all the missing textures. They're only missing because I just didn't import them yet, but that would be the next step. Let's go to the mats. There it is, the mat material, 2K, and then just kind of filling in each one. So we have our base color. We have a normal map, so I'm going to turn on a normal map here. Oh, weird! It actually locked. It's locked everything. I don't know what that's about. It locked all the. It locked everything. Maybe I'll make a new material. Is this one locked too? What is going on? Copy the model to a new document. Oh, gotcha. This is a new document. Oh, you mean copy my model into an existing document? If I copy this and then bring it into not that one, not that one, into this one, and then apply this material to that one, and then delete this guy. Does this one work? Can I change the material? Okay, I don't know why that worked, but oh, did it? Oh yeah, it did. Okay, then we can just load up our normal map, set our viewport to no scaling, and then yeah, just even with a normal map, it already looks so much better. And then we can go in and add some reflectance. I change it to GGX, or I change it to Fong, and then play with that reflection parameter. And then for the layer color, oh no, for the roughness, I load in our roughness shader. Where is roughness? And then good. We'll crank up that roughness percent. Now we get our scratches back into the model. Oh, actually, I forgot. I usually apply the textures in Lens Studio now. I don't do it in here. Copy the model. Yeah, thank you for solving that for me, Ibrahim. Yeah, that I get tripped up on that as well. And I'm just going to lower the global reflection brightness to like 1%, I think was the hack. And then match this about 1% as well. They show up better in the other programs. But cool, I think that's most of the shaders. Color, reflection, normal. What are we missing? Oh, maybe metallic ice. There's no really metallic areas, so we don't need a metallic. And I don't really have any glowing areas. That's really all the model has. And then what I do is maybe save them as a GLTF, and I'll bake that animation down and do this one and call this texture underscore test. And then I run a lot of my my GTLF tests through babylon.js. This site's great for testing GLTFs. If it works in Babylon, it's going to work everywhere, I've found. And if it doesn't work in Babylon, it's not going to work anywhere. So it's a really good litmus test that I like to run on my models to make sure that things are performing the way that I would hope they would. Wow! Oh my goodness! Yes! Whoa! Oh my goodness. It totally is working. We got the animation in there. We got the rig in there. We have the materials applied with the right amount of shade. Yeah, this is great. Yeah, this is super great. All right, I'm gonna have to send this to Elon. Let me see if I can take a look at some different lighting environments. Let's do a studio environment. Can I rotate the lights? I forgot how to do that. This is sweet. All right, so it's only 3,000 vertices, not bad. 5,000 polygons. Good performance. Good frame rate. Yeah, this looks like it's gonna work well. Okay, I'll just bring it into Lens Studio real quick then, because because this passed all my preliminary tests. I know it's like a little bit shinier here, but I can probably dial that shine down a bit in the other in Lens Studio. I'll just import this one as, I'll just do an animated object. Keep it light. Okay, so here's Lens Studio. It's awesome. I'll talk more and more about it as you'll come to see. It's a fantastic tool for creating AR stuff. I'm going to bring in my GLTF file by dragging it in, and I'll hit import. There it is. That's the whole fabrication. And then all we want is the prefab, which is the P in there. And then we find our objects that we want it to attract to the world. So we have our ground grid, a touch controller. What we want to replace is, so this one allows you to have multiple characters in here, and we can move both of them. For the users allowed to move both of them with this script. So I only want one character, so I'm going to go ahead and uncheck that one. So we're just looking at this red panda. And then for the red panda, I'm going to just drag my prefab underneath the controller. And now my character is in the scene, and it should also move with the world. Awesome. It looks like it's tracking properly. And then I'll take my red panda and hide the red panda. Actually, I'm just going to delete the red panda. Or actually, let me just double check. There's nothing in here that I need. I don't see anything too important in there for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete the red panda. And now we have our little dude here. And then I'm going to scale him down because he's a lot larger than I thought he would be. So I'm going to grab him, go to our modifiers, and just scale him down. Oops, I guess you got to scale the whole scene down. And now we will be able to place this guy in our world. And if they have two fingers, we'll be able to rotate them in the world. And the file size is 2 megabytes. Not bad, not bad at all. Looking good. Looking like it's passing my tests. Yes, I could do 3 body tracking template. I probably will also do that. That will be fun. Sweet. So we got a filter. And is there any shadows? Matte shadow. Let's try a different environment. Yeah, it looks like all the shaders came out properly in Lens Studio, which is awesome. So I'm happy with it. I might just do a little bit more lighting effects on this thing. So I'm going to go to the material shader and jump down into my lighting. Throw on some lighting. Let's do some unnatural rim light that was not there, but just can't help it. It's fun. It's fun to add rim lights. And I'll just give it a little bit of that studio lighting. And then we'll reduce the intensity a lot. It's just to add a little extra bounce. We don't need any emissive. Depth test is good. Two-sided? Yeah, sure. Blend mode. Back culling. Okay, this looks good. Yep. Okay. Project info. Lens preview. Tesla. Just made a little thumbnail for the filter. So the preview video is too short for the animation. Oh, good call. Yeah. They're always going to be short though, because it's a preview video. I guess I could try a different environment, see if they have a longer shot on it. Yeah, all of them are going to be really short like that. I mean, these are, well, we'll probably see, the user will probably see the full 15 seconds within the app. I don't think we're seeing the full 15 seconds in here. I can record one from the preview window. You can just hit rig it and use body tracking. Could do that, but I don't want to do that. Because this one I just wanted to place, because nobody's body is going to fit those proportions. So like if I did that way, I would want to remove the environment. I would like fill it with a solid color, and then you can control it. Well, I'll have different versions of the filter out. I just mostly wanted to have something that I can have people place it in their own world and examine it. Really? You can make people invisible? It should be shown for 6 to 10 seconds. I agree, but I don't have the means to record this right now. Or, I mean, I do, but I don't know what to do here. Is it easy? I'm going for simple. Cause I'm a little sleepy. I'm at that point where I'm like wrapping up. So we started like 1 a.m. and now it's 3:30. So I don't get most of the views from the preview videos anyway. I usually get the most reach when I advertise it myself. Tesla bot. Yeah. 143 says that's enough time. I'm done. I'm not doing any machine learning on this. I'm not going the extra mile. I've already gone 3 extra miles. Publishing and getting it done. Upload success. Great. Let me log into Snap. Login verification. Good. I have 2-factor authentication on everything, which is great. And this security code will change in 5 seconds, so I don't mind using it now. Oh, I already changed it. Cool. Submit new lens. Tesla bot. Tesla AI. Elon Musk. I know I should have disabled the on the screens, but I'm using my authentication or my authenticator app refreshes those numbers every 15 seconds. So that number doesn't have any meaning anymore. It won't work unless you did it at the same time as me. But I trust you. Scan triggers. This will work if you scan a car. Submit. I'm done. Congratulations, your lens has been submitted and is currently in review. We will notify you when the lens is ready. Woohoo! It'll be ready so fast. There's a really quick. Yeah, Tesla bot in review. Good. Let it do its thing. That's a wrap, folks. We went from start to finish. We made an AR filter. We brought that character to life. We modeled it. We we had a bunch of different tools. We went from Cinema 4D to Substance Painter to Stager to uh, Pure Reference, and I'm really happy with the result. I mean, this looks like syndicated by them, and that was the goal. Something that kind of looks like something that they would produce. And let's see, Tesla bot is public. All right, Tesla bot is public. I will put the scan code on the screen here. I'm downloading the scan code, and that way people could watch the end of this YouTube video and literally aim their phones at the screen, and they should be able to try it right away. There we go. Oops, let me zoom in. All right, so give this lens a try. What is it called? I already forgot the lens name, so I'm half asleep. Tesla bot. Tesla bot. Tesla bot. You can scan this code now, and you should be able to have that little Tesla bot in your own space. I'm going to switch away from being a tired banana to a different character. I don't know. I'll just keep the banana. I don't know where the buttons are. I'm going to go to bed. I'm half asleep, but we did it, folks. I want to thank everyone who's joining us here towards the very end of the live stream on YouTube. This was a long one. This was a fun one. I just learned about the Tesla bot about 3 hours ago, and then was like, we need to make it a real thing. Yesterday's video is still in production. I can give you a sneak peek of it, though. Let me do that. Let me save this file. Save. I'll save this in the Tesla bot folder. And then so it's saved, and then I'll show you what that project's looking like. Actually, maybe I could bring the Tesla bot into it, and that would be kind of a funny use case. You know, just get some multiple uses out of it. If we go to File, Open, Recent, I called it some stuff. AR Concept. I think it's this one. Okay, so it's still loading. Right, and then let me throw on the Redshift render view. All right, so this is what we got. The portal. The portal lane. I see. I'm still. So you're going through, and there's a dragon right there. Dragon. I'm gonna make it go through the portal. Work on the shots. The portal opens up in space time, and then two luminescent like firefly side of that realm, and into that realm. It's not receiving enough video. Oh, interesting. Get in there. It turns into environment. And then come to you on your. I'm gonna have it end with like capital. But it was like sleepy. So I did this one tonight, but pretty close to being done. Just the dragon in. Be happy. Well, I'm gonna go. I'll leave it there. Yet, but there. And catch you all in. Okay. Sleepy time. Thanks again. I'll see you later. That's a wrap.